Sometimes in life, when communicating, we expect people to react a certain way when we tell them certain things or when we're just talking to them, having normal conversations. So, have you ever met someone and you thought they were going to react a certain way and they didn't? An example of this could be when you were a little kid and you broke something in your house, for instance, a vase, and you know for a fact that your mom is going to be highly upset with you, especially when you told her you broke it by fooling around or just by doing something stupid. So when you actually go and do tell your mom that you did break this vase and you are expecting her to be upset, she reacts in a way that she doesn't normally react. She's not upset at all with you, and she actually forgives you right away. This would be called expectancy violation theory. Expectancy violation theory is a communication theory which tries to explain unexpected behaviors of human beings while interacting. The theory is based on uncertainty reduction theory, where vagueness on the behaviors of others is reduced through interaction. Expectancy violation theory deals with how people communicate and create an expectation of how others will react. The violation to this expectation can cause the perception to be negative or positive. So, in simpler terms, you sometimes, when communicating with people, you'll expect them to respond a certain way. If they don't respond the certain way that you want, you might have a negative perception of them. And if they respond the way that you want them to, it might be positive. That's not always the case. Now, now that you have the definition of what expectancy violation theory is, I'm going to give you a little brief personal story of expectancy violation theory in my own life. I will be kind of dealing with the interpersonal characteristics of expectancy violation theory. So, the story deals with my two roommates, Kitty and Amy. I lived with Kitty and Amy for about 4 months so far. We all moved in together back in September. So, at the same time, back in September, my boyfriend was planning on going to Brockport in spring of 2019. This is where the expectancy violation theory comes into play. So, with my boyfriend coming here in the spring semester 2019, I thought he could room in this lovely house. Move in with me in my room upstairs. I expected my roommates to respond positively when I brought this to their attention. I bet you can tell where this story is going to go. So, when I brought to the attention to my roommates, Kitty and Amy, that I wanted my boyfriend to move in with us in the 2019 spring semester, it didn't go as I expected. Now, as we stated earlier, the perception of the expectancy can either be negative or positive. My perception turned out to be really negative. I expected my roommates to be fine with it and kind of go along with it and just kind of be like, okay, Clarence, we get it. It's going to be hard for him to find a house. He can move in. Well, that wasn't the case. We had a lot more discussions to talk about and a lot more other, issues to talk about and discuss and how things would play out. I think we both, on both sides, my side as well as my roommates, we both expected each other to react in a certain way. Neither of us got the reaction that we wanted. So I think all three of us had a negative perception. So now that you heard my personal story dealing with expectancy violation theory, I'm now going to give you some of my personal recommendations that I think might help you with this theory. And I wish I kind of applied them to back when I had this situation myself. So I like the saying, hope reaps eternal misery, or hope for the best, expect the worst. So I'm saying pretty much when you meet someone and you're having a conversation with them, Hope for the best and maybe expect for the worst. You never know how someone's reaction is going to be, but always try to remain having a positive perception of them. You can't control how someone feels. And also, maybe try not having so many expectations of people. I know I've done that and it's helped me out immensely. So I think that would probably be my key recommendation. Try not to have so many high level of expectations for people. So in conclusion, I've talked to you about expectancy violation theory, which once again is how people when people communicate, they create an expectation of how others will react. Sometimes where the violation can come into play is that the person will not react the way that you expected them to. That perception, as stated before, could be negative or positive. After I have given you the definition, I've given you a personal story dealing with my own personal life, dealing with expectancy violation theory. I think you guys have a clear idea of what expectancy violation theory is. So, thank you for listening and thank you for checking out my video.